What's up, friends? Welcome back to another episode of the Heal You podcast, where we grow, stretch, bloom, and sometimes laugh our way through this healing journey that we're on. I'm your host, Shai, and as always, I am so glad that you're here with me today. Can you believe we are already in week 12 of the Bloom series? You know, spring is here, and just like the flowers, we are being called to bloom in our own unique way. Let's kick off today's episode with a quick reflection. All right, here we go. Close your eyes, unless you're driving, of course, and picture yourself as a flower. You've been planted, you weathered storms, and now, my friends, you're ready to bloom. What does your blooming season look like? What color is it? How does it feel, friends, to finally be stretching toward the sun? Now think about this. What do you need to shed to make room for your blooming season? Let's think about it, friends. What do you need? What do you need to shed so that you are prepared to bloom? Right. Last week we had a blast diving into confidence and giving fear the finger. If you missed last week's episode, you better go on back and catch it, because we got real about fear, self-doubt, and how to step boldly into your next chapter. I even shared how I talked to myself into wearing those heels I swore I couldn't walk in. Just kidding. But I did talk about how my journey of anxiety and being able to drive in places that aren't really comfortable to me, I was able to overcome, even if just a little bit. But back to those shoes. If I was wearing those shoes and if heels were a challenge for your girl, please know that I did strut like it was a runway in Target. You had to be there. You had to be a part of last week's episode to really understand what it means to give fear the finger. It's important, friends, that we are focused on ourselves and we are working on ways to build our confidence. So again, if you didn't listen to it, please go check it out. Or if you need to refer to your notes and start working through your confidence exercises again, I challenge you to do that as well. So now that we've built up our confidence factor, it's time to do some emotional cleaning. Let's let go of all of the fear, limiting beliefs, and old narratives that have been holding us back. Are you ready, friends? Come on, grab your journals, get your pen, get you something to drink as I sip. And let's get ready, friends, to get into it. All right, let's get going. Let's take our time and really focus. First things first, let's talk about recognizing what needs to go. Where's our trash? Because before we can release anything, we need to be able to call it out. So I'm going to challenge you to ask yourself, what beliefs do I keep repeating that no longer feel true to me? What fears have I been carrying that belong to an old version of me? What stories am I still telling myself here, mentally, physically, every time you look in the mirror? What stories am I telling myself that keep me stuck? Sometimes these things show up in sneaky ways. It's like turning down an opportunity because you feel I'm not ready, or assuming someone else's success means there's less for you. No, friends, these beliefs might have protected us once upon a time, but now they're holding us back. I've learned as I continue to focus on my own healing that it is totally okay to outgrow who we once were. There are some iterations of life we grow through that truly have purpose. We experience them for a reason, a season, and sometimes the belief remain there for a lifetime. Sit right there for a minute. Think about some things you've been through, some relationships, some challenges, some opportunities that you think, oh, what if I had never been through that? But friends, do you ever think about it? Is it there because it served its purpose? There was a reason behind it? Did you experience it because you were going through a season that you needed to experience it and learn things? Or is it something that you have deep down inside of you that is truly a lifetime? Was it, friends? We owe ourselves the diligence to know when beliefs we have are holding us back and how we continue to water ourselves so that things holding us back can truly be removed. So let's make a list of the thoughts, the fears, or habits that are no longer serving the person that you are becoming. That list, my friends, will prove beneficial to you as we go through our season of healing and blooming. Make that list. Be honest with yourself and understand that it's time, my friends, to clean out those beliefs that no longer serve us. So let's get real about why these beliefs take root in the first place. Why did they take roots? Because most of them didn't start with us. Let me repeat that. Most of the beliefs we have didn't start with us. Let me repeat it another time. Friends, most of the beliefs we have did not start with us. They were passed down, picked up, or we formed them when we were in survival mode. Maybe you were told growing up that you had to be perfect to be accepted. Maybe you were told that you would never be anything, that you would be a failure. Maybe you failed once and decided you were never meant to succeed. That's that mental anxiety we add to ourselves. Or maybe someone else's fear became your blueprint. You ever heard that saying? Hurt people, hurt people. Understanding the root of why we are the way we are gives us power. For me, one of the beliefs that held me back was the phrase, "You'll never be nothing." Over and over again. Over and over again. I heard it as a young child. You'll never be nothing. Over and over again. I heard it. That statement alone took root in my head at a very young age, and it planted its ugly thoughts in every aspect of my life. How I saw myself, my drive to overachieve, how I treated others, choices I made as a mother and as an individual, and even who I chose to be in relationships with. Even who I chose to be in relationships with. When we know where the belief came from, friends, we can decide if it still belongs in our garden. You know, just like weeds, if we don't pull them up by the root, they keep growing back over and over again. Another exercise. Think about those beliefs that limit you. Where did one of your limiting beliefs come from? And whose voice is it really? Out of all of the things that you believe, one belief that limits you, where did it come from? And whose voice was it? Let's be honest, friends. Letting go isn't always easy. Sometimes the thing we need to release has become part of our identity. Fear feels familiar. Old narratives feel safe. But here's the truth. Let's repeat that. Not just for you, but for me as well. Let's repeat it in another way. Friends, we can't bloom if we continue to cling to what was. You know, letting go doesn't mean forgetting or pretending something never happened. Letting go means releasing the weight of it. It means giving yourself permission to heal mentally, physically, and spiritually. You know, one way I practice letting go is by writing a letter to what I'm releasing. I thank it for what it taught me and then say goodbye. Sometimes with this good old dramatic trash toss or burn ceremony if I'm feeling extra sassy. You have to do what's right for you, friends. Try it. I guarantee you it's freeing. It's going to provide the release that you need. A few episodes back, I referenced my mirror mantra. I take markers and I write out statements to help me as I work through my healing journey. You know, those mantras were repeated every time I walked into the bathroom. And they held me up during some really, really tough moments. They were the seeds that I planted along this journey. I had to remind myself of my strength. I had to remind myself that where I am in life doesn't mean that I can't outgrow it, that I can't plant new seeds, that I can't water them, that I can't bloom. And that helped. You know, I recently cleaned off that mirror. And it's not because the mantras aren't needed anymore. They're still right here in my heart. Repeat it as I need them. I erase them, friends, because it's time to plant new seeds. Seeds of happiness, seeds of strength, seeds of love. You know, I see that as my own personal love letter to myself. I challenge you to write a goodbye letter to one belief or one fear that you're releasing. Then do something symbolic with it. Rip it up, toss it, burn it safely, of course, or bury it. It will serve its purpose. It will release some energy and thoughts that you need right now in this blooming season. So now that we've let go, friends, it's time to write a new story. It's a new chapter. It's a new you. This is where the magic happens. If you believe something new about yourself, something rooted in truth and love, how would your life change? How would you evolve? But let's flip the script a little bit. Let's flip it. No longer say, I'm not good enough. Instead, you say, I am more than enough. No longer say, I'll never get it right. You replace it with, every step I take is part of my growth. No longer say, I don't have what it takes. Instead, head high, shoulders up, you say, I already have everything I need. Remember, you are the author of your next chapter. And it is our duty, friends, to make it one that we're proud of. So let's embrace it with open arms, understanding each time we release the anxiousness, the uneasiness, the fear, the doubts, we are taking the steps needed to move forward, to be everything we desire to be. So write down your next 3 new affirmations that align with the life that you want to live. Think about it. Write it down. Are you saying, I am enough? Are you being specific? I will conquer this goal, and write out the goal. Friends, write down 3 things that prove that you can achieve and align with the life that you want to live. Take time, do it, because it's important. It's important during our blooming season to know exactly where it is we want to be. And here's the thing about releasing. It's not just a one-time thing. It's a practice. We have to do it over and over again, because those old beliefs love to sneak back in when we're tired, vulnerable, or trying something new. Woo! Trying something new. Simple things like accepting a compliment or letting a sweet conversation make you smile. You know, I had to remind myself to let go of the past, not forget or diminish it. But friends, it's time to truly let go so I can move forward and accept the feeling, the compliment, the conversation, the smile, the ability to leave, the ability to live, the ability to let go so that I can be free. But now, friends, we have all the tools we need. You've been taught how to pause, reflect, rewrite, and reclaim your truth. So as we move through this season of blooming, I want you to remember this. Your bloom is sacred. Protect it. Nourish it. Speak life over it. We We, my friends, we are equipped with the tools needed to weed out the parts of life going forward, which hinder our growth. We are now living the life we deserve, the life we deserve for each and every one of us. It's blooming season. It's spring. What's your color? It's time to focus on who we truly deserve to be, who we aspire, the goals we set, the things we need to do to be better, well-rounded versions of ourselves, to remove the beliefs of others, those that we have adopted, those that we have allowed to take root in our brain, in our life, in our everyday action. It's time, friends. We deserve it. And guess what? When fear shows up again, because it will, it's going to show up. It's going to show up when you least expect it. It's going to show up in the middle of a smile, a conversation, having fun, an accomplishment. Fear is going to show up. I'm sure we all call it something totally different, but it's going to show up. I need you to remind yourself that you have already chosen freedom. This week, I challenge you to pick one action that symbolizes your freedom. Whether it's wearing something bold, y'all see me with my red lipstick on, starting something fresh, or saying no to what drains you. Saying no is a big one. Whatever your weekly choice is, let that action remind you of who you are becoming. How you're focusing on your need to bloom. How you're planting the seeds needed to get you to where you need to be. Because it's important. It's really important, friends. Now, y'all not going to see this red lipstick every day, but it's really important, friends. Woo! I like this episode. Can you tell? Releasing is not always easy, but it is so necessary if we want to make room for joy, alignment, and abundance. And guess what? Like I said, you may have to release multiple times as you move through your healing journey. I know I have. I might be on my 20th release this year alone. But for me, friends, that's okay. I know that many of my days of hesitation were due to fear and anxiety. Fear and anxiety. It has held me back so many times. I have stated to myself over and over again that I couldn't do it only to get out of my head and be able to prove to myself that anything is possible. 20 times, friends, might be more than that, but more than anything, you know what? I know now that I'm in the period of truly being authentically me. I want to thank you for holding space for yourself today. As we work on this week, I hope you walk a little lighter, speak a little kinder to yourself, and remember that you are worthy of living a life that is free. Next week marks week 13 of our 52-week series, and we're continuing this beautiful journey with a new chapter, Rooted and Rising, deepening the work and living in full bloom. We're going to look back, look forward, and celebrate just how far we've come. I'm looking forward to it. Until then, friends, keep growing, keep healing, and always, always, always keep learning.
I'll see you next week.